you're a migrant in the UK, you would probably have heard the news circulating for the past few days. All the recent UK immigration rules that they've been shoving out, as if to say they're trying to scare every migrant that have moved to the UK. Well, I'm here to give you the tea and all the information that I've gathered. I've gone ahead to read all the documents so you don't have to. So if you want to learn more about how the recent UK immigration rules are going to affect you, just keep on watching. By the way, if this is your first time here, my name is Nkem and welcome to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and join the family. Let's jump right into this video. So far, there are different sectors in the UK that they've been threatening to have stricter immigration rules applied to, and some of these sectors like in adult care, study, in family, in skilled worker program, and in tackling abuse. Okay, so let's start with basic things like net migration. Net migration is the difference between, or the number between, the people who have left the UK to live in a different country and the number of people who have come into the UK to live in the UK. This gives you like the amount of the population that have grown, let's say, in a year. So it says in 2023, the most recent one, the figure was about 728,000 and around 1.2 million people migrated into the UK, while around 479,000 left. Obviously, more people are coming in as opposed to moving to live somewhere else. So I'm just going to list and read out in bullet form and try to explain it to the best of my knowledge what each point means and what each section kind of says. So in terms of work reform, for people who are coming into the UK under skilled workers visa, this threshold will be raised, so they're only going to be allowing people who have degrees. They're not going to be allowing anything less than a degree qualification. So from the implementation of the new law, you would need to have a degree before you can be able to work here. Another thing that they threaten, or that have been implemented anyway from previous government, is the threshold for salary. They have significantly increased the threshold for salary. So what that means is if you don't earn a particular amount, you won't be qualified under the skilled worker visa. The immigration skill charge payment will increase. This is usually the money that the company that is intending to employ someone from overseas will pay for that skilled worker visa. This is the first time that they're increasing this charge since 2017. Essentially, a lot of companies wouldn't want to employ someone because they're going to be spending more money. They'd rather look for someone local if they can find who will cover whatever skill that they're looking to, fill up. Social care visas will be closed to new applicants from overseas, but this will be reviewed by 2028, and in that period they're going to look for better ways to kind of improve how they hire people in that section of social care. Sectors that rely heavily on employing skilled workers from overseas will have to look for strategies to implement hiring people locally. So essentially, they want to promote local hiring. But the question remains, even though you want to promote local hiring, do you have enough people locally qualified to fill in those jobs or fill in the gaps? So that's usually the issue. And a new temporary shortage list will be created. This is one of their goals, to kind of also curb employing people from overseas. So even though that they have like an extensive shortage occupation list now, looking at, reviewing that and even making the list a lot more shorter to tighten this immigration issue that they claim to have. So employers also will be restricted from sponsoring skilled visa. Now this is going to be a very difficult one, because we know that employers like the NHS heavily rely on overseas employment in order to have the amount of staff that they need for their care. So if they're not willing to train people locally, they're going to be restricted to hire from overseas. And obviously they want to open up more routes to hire highly skilled individuals. That's all about it for work reforms. Let's move on to the study reforms. For people on study visa, usually after their studies they have a 2-year post-study visa that they can use to find jobs and find ways to settle and try to find jobs that will give them sponsorship. Now that is being cut down to 18 months, so that's roughly about a year and 6 months. And also hiring institutions will find it quite difficult to recruit international students. It's going to become harder for sponsoring institutions to recruit international students, and they have to demonstrate that they are willing to consider local impact before they are allowed to make decisions on international recruitment. I don't really see how this is going to work for them, but we shall wait and see. So under immigration, these are the points that have been made. I'm just going to read it out for you because I made a bullet point. It's going to be easier to refuse entry or asylum seekers who break the rules or have broken laws before. The rules of deporting foreign national offenders will be made simpler, aka if you're a foreign national and you're an offender, they're very likely to decide that, you know what, there is no need for pardon, you're going home, and that will be the end of that case. E-visas will be rolled out for all overseas citizens to tighten up border security measures. I feel like this is already in place, but I feel like also this law is targeted at people who they say cross via boats, so that's it. Measures will be brought in to ensure other governments play a part in supporting the integrity of the UK immigration system, and then robustness to test to ensure adults are not identified as children will be improved. I think this is one of the biggest things they have, having people who are adults or over 18 claim that they're under 18 simply because they look a bit younger. But yeah, and then domestic work visas will be investigated to help tackle modern day slavery. Essentially, if you're from any other country and you bring in someone from your country, someone related to you or not related to you, to work as a maid or as a help, and you're not paying them properly for their time, it's considered modern day slavery, and they'll look into kind of tackling that. I think there have been a few reports very recently about, not sure which country, but the lady was a lawmaker and she was found guilty of the same issues. Now, under settlements and citizenship, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 things they've said they are going to implement. That they're going to double the time that it takes to qualify for indefinite leave from 5 years to 10 years. I don't know why I'm laughing because it's very funny. There are a lot of people already on this journey, but I think that it wouldn't be for people who are already on their journey or nearly at the end of their journey. It would be for new people who are applying for migration if this law comes into effect. The period will be reduced based on the person's contribution to UK economy and society. So essentially, if you're a big part of the community and you can probably prove that you are you've been contributing to your local community or UK as a whole, that they're looking to reduce the timeline, this particular say 10-year timeline for you. English language requirements for skilled workers will be increased. It's already quite high. I don't see what they're increasing there, but that's one of the things that they're trying to implement. English language requirements will be introduced for all adults dependents on work and student visa. Again, this is something that's already in effect, so it's not necessarily like a new law. Parents of a British or settled child whose child has died will be able to settle immediately through a new bereaved parent route. A life in the UK test for citizenship will be refreshed. Basically, they are going to look at the questions that they have, revise it, and maybe produce new questions. Anyway, this is the breakdown of everything that they've said they're going to implement or change in this new UK immigration reform that have been presented. If you're ready, there are so many news circulating that if you're a healthcare personnel, a doctor, or a nurse, an engineer, rules will not apply to you. The ones related to the settlement. We'll wait till we have any more information on that. But so far, this is all the information that we have at the moment. And I hope this kind of explains what is going on to anyone who's interested. If you have any questions, please let me know. And if I have any more updates, I'll be sure to make a video and tell you guys about it. Until next time, see ya, bye.